Hi everyone, welcome to School of Scarlet. I have a message for you today. So I'm going to jump right into it. Today I'm in the midst of Hurricane Beryl. As I'm filming this video, there is no power in my home. And so I have my candle here, but you can probably hear some of the rain behind me. I am in front of a window and we are in the midst of this. So Hurricane Beryl is going to hit here anywhere between an hour and an hour and a half from now. So we've already been experiencing the rain, the winds, and all of that here for a little while now, and overnight. So anyhow, I want to share with you this message that is coming through specifically for someone out there. So this message is all around the storm and being in the storm and what that is, how to navigate the storm. So I'm going to tie that into hurricanes. As I mentioned, I grew up around hurricanes and I continue to live here in this area as an adult. So I've also experienced hurricanes on my own as an adult. And so hurricanes are something that has, kind of devastated our areas, you could say, many times, hit us. But we've always survived. And if you are from Houston, if you are from Texas, if you have been through any hurricanes wherever you live, you know that we rebuild, that we, come out of this stronger. And so every hurricane that has ever hit or that I've ever been part of has created quite a bit of devastation for myself, our community, and many of those that I know. And so much so that I've lost a house, I've lost roads, I've lost items. We've had horrible damage. We've seen people go through horrible things, and yet we have united in those times and rebuilt. So I kind of want to bring this message through to kind of bring some clarity to what may be happening within your being, within your life. So this is more of a metaphor. You may not be going through an actual physical hurricane in your reality, but you may be going through a hurricane within your emotions, within your physical reality. It may not, again, be a hurricane, but it may be something like a job loss. It may be something like a relationship has ended. It may be something like a friendship or something like that is coming to an end or shifting. Issues with family. It may be something like a financial issue. You may find yourself in a situation where you have nothing, you have no money, or something of that nature. So this message is coming through for people and someone out there that is experiencing something like that. Now, this is just a storm. This is just something that appears in our reality to really shake us up, to move things around. So my experience in hurricanes has actually been quite a pleasant one after the fact. So Hurricane Ike, if any of you want to look into Hurricane Ike, was a very devastating, one of the most devastating hurricanes that hit our area. And so there was boats all over the freeways. Everything had been shut down. We were out of electricity for the longest of time. It was just almost like this desolate war zone for quite a while. It was really unimaginable. And, I'm really glad that I took a lot of pictures and I have videos of those times to remember what it was like, because it's not anywhere near that now. If you go to the area where I grew up, now currently, it's a thriving place. It's one of the most visited places for shopping and entertainment and eating and all of that stuff. And you would have never thought that back then. When Hurricane Ike hit, you would have thought that this town had been blown away, that it was done, that this area was never going to be rebuilt, that nothing was going to happen here. But look at it today. It is totally different now. My daughter was actually conceived during Hurricane Ike, and that may be too much information for some of you. But within that time period, there was so much going on within me emotionally, and so much going on within my being, feeling so limited as to I was not able to conceive. I was having this fertility battle at the time, and with my husband, it was also an emotional roller coaster of ups and downs. Anybody that has been through infertility will know exactly what that's like. It's one of the most painful things to go through. And so I was going through this infertility battle at the time, and this hurricane hit, and all I could think about was basically the hurricane and just how to be protected, how to stay safe. And I remember being in a closet and just hiding in there when the hurricane was hitting, and all this stuff, and then coming out, and the calm before the storm, then the after the storm created a sense of unity for everyone around us. Our community began to come together. We went to a grocery store, and yes, there was a long line of people trying to get food and different things, but we were all together. We were in the same boat. There was not this division between people of, I'm better than you, this or that, nothing. It was just, we just went through something big. and we all feel it, and we're in this together. And that's what is going on right now in our collective. You're going to be feeling a lot of shifting, a lot of movement, and some people may begin to separate and get very, very fearful. But this is really meant for us to unite, to come together in every sense of the way, whether it is a hurricane happening or your emotions or those people and things around you. Things seem chaotic, and that's how it is, right? During a storm, it seems chaotic. But it shakes things up so that later those pieces can come back together in a better, more aligned way. So what do we see after hurricanes? We see that when we rebuild, those buildings and those things that are being rebuilt are being built with more updated infrastructures. You know, they're now got these storm shutters. They have all this storm protection so that if another hurricane happens, it won't devastate the area as it did before. So that's what's happening here within your own life. You're being upgraded into a new system, and you're going to feel this in your body. Your body is going to begin to change. You're going to be lighter. You're going to feel stronger. Eventually, you'll feel stronger. You may feel weak at first as things begin to transition, but essentially, you're becoming a healthier, more whole being so that you can withstand and hold more of this potent, unconditional love energy that has always been here. We're being upgraded. So just like a storm, when it hits a town, when they rebuild with more updated technology, more upgraded knowledge of what is needed for the next storm that were to come. So that's all that's happening here, and it can feel very uncomfortable for the body, can be very uncomfortable for the mind to process. So it's really a time to kind of surrender. I remember also in the last hurricane that we went through here that was very devastating, and this one was very scary to me, because my home was pretty much totally underwater from what I could tell, because everything that was showing on TV, everything, these homes were underwater. I drove to where my home was at, and even about 5 miles prior to even getting close to my home, there were airboats that had to take people in and out. That was how much water was there. This was unimaginable. So I imagined in my mind that my house was totally underwater, and I got sick. I got a flu like instantly. It was like a 24 to 48 hour flu. I broke out in a fever and I couldn't move. I just laid down in bed, and that was it. That's all I could do. So sometimes the body will do that to us as well. It'll kind of take us out, whether that's taking us out because we'll experience pain, a flu, a fever, some sort of emotional thing happening to us or something, but it'll take us out to where we have to rest. And this message is coming through for some of you that if it is time for you to rest, if your body is telling you it's time to rest, allow that to happen. Because if we don't allow ourselves to do that, the body will just simply make us do it, just like it did for me during that hurricane. But what happened after those 24 to 48 hours? I emerged again with more energy, with a clear mind. As a matter of fact, prior to that, I felt very clouded. I didn't know what would happen. I was so fearful. But after that rest, when I re-emerged, I had hope. Could see more into the future a little bit. I had a little bit more clarity to see that things do always work out. So I have another kind of unusual story that's coming through intuitively to share with you. So I recently got a new entertainment system new furniture for my living room. Just beautiful furniture. One of our friends was closing down their furniture store, and he offered some stuff for us. So we purchased that at a great price, and so we set up our living room like this. And you know, one thing leads to another. You start upgrading certain things, and then you upgrade more and more. So we upgraded our hutch in the living room, and then our credenza, or whatever you call it, and that looked great. And then the next thing we wanted to do our TV entertainment center, so we did that, and we got the furniture, and yes, we had a TV, but now we wanted a new TV that would be, you know, better suited for that. So that's how things go. We start upgrading everything. So you're going to see in your own reality that everything is going to begin to shift and change. Everything will. Okay, but that's not the point of the story. The story really is about that once we went and got this TV, we went to the store and got it. It was a much upgraded TV. It had new technology, a lot newer technology. The screen was amazing. You know, it had all the capabilities, obviously, of, you know, smart TV and stuff like that. Now, I'm from the time period, now don't take any offense to this, I would say it's not the smart times, right? We were more of the, you know, primitive times prior to internet and all that stuff. So I'm still very much used to, and my husband's very much used to using cable TV, satellite TV and stuff like that. We don't use a lot of the streaming things, believe it or not. So when we went to set up this TV, we didn't want any of that streaming stuff on there. All we wanted was our cable on there. And we could not figure out how to do it because all it kept doing is we kept plugging it in. As soon as it connected to Wi-Fi, it picked up all of the stations that we were trying to pick up from our cable, but it picked it up from the ethers, from Wi-Fi, from everywhere. And suddenly we had these channels, and we were like, how do we have channels that are coming through, but they're not coming through our cable box, and they're free, and they're coming through, and what's going on? Well, the technology had been upgraded. It's all there, here and now. All of those things you wanted that you've been paying for and working so hard for have now arrived. The gifts are here. You just have to connect to them and go get them. They're here. They're here and now. You think you still have to pay for this box and be hooked up to this box and, do it this way and only have 100 channels. But no, the universe and the world is saying it's all here and now. All you have to do is turn on your Wi-Fi signal and connect to anything that you want. It's here and now. Now we were able to connect to our cable box. This is another part of the story. We began to get very frustrated. Even though we had all these channels that were free and coming in, we were still being very stubborn. You see, because we weren't being very smart and we still wanted that cable box. And so we got frustrated and we got angry. Why is this not working? And to the point that we almost wanted to take that TV back. And I thought for a moment, you know what? I told my husband, you know what? I have never in the history of time, that I've known people around here or anywhere, seen anyone take back a TV and say, I'm taking this back because we cannot connect the cable and we just do not want it. We're going to go back to our super old ancient TV. I've never seen it. Everybody seems to upgrade TVs and eventually everybody has the newer technology. Do they not? So this message is also coming through that everyone is upgrading. Yes, this message is for you who is watching, but so is everybody else upgrading. So be gentle, be kind to everyone around you. Some of you are more aware, more perceptive to what is happening. Some people are not. So be gentle to what is happening. There's many changes happening within lots of people and their beings. Okay, so continuing on with the story of the TV. So after having the insight that no one on this earth has ever really had this issue of having to take back TVs because they can't connect to their cable or satellite. All right, I had an emergency alert come through, but anyhow, so after having the insight that no one really does this, returns a TV because of this, I decided to sleep on it. One of the things I learned a couple years back is when we start to have kind of like this frustration or a lot of things start happening where we become very frustrated and things don't seem to be working out, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. So I learned this a while back when I was fixing some things in my shed. I began to get hurt. Things began to happen and I said, hey, it's time to stop and leave it for the next day. So that's my motto with a lot of things, especially technology. So when this technology was not working, we put it away. Said, let's wait till the next day. Somehow or another, we turned on the TV, started messing with things, and before you knew it, the cable box had connected. And we don't know how it had connected, but it did. And now everything was working and everything was good in our world again. And as a matter of fact, yesterday we were just talking about that, kind of bringing that up. Do we remember when that happened? And it was kind of funny because I even asked, how did we ever do it? Because what if we unconnected or whatever? And we couldn't even remember how we did it. So these things just happen. And it's not that we have to plan them, that we have to do a ton of research and figure it out. It's already here and now. So this message is for you to know that you've already arrived. It's time to just allow, regroup, connect, and allow those things to come into your reality. Just like I realized that as simply as turning on our Wi-Fi, now we had all of these channels and free things that we had already been paying for and working so hard for. We didn't need to work so hard for that. It was already here and now. We just hadn't been aware or attuned to the fact that it was already here and now. So where in your life are things really here and now, but you're not allowing them or you're not connecting to them? So this message is for you to see that you have actually already shifted. This shift is already here and happening. You're feeling it within your being, but where do you need to connect? Where is everything? And you don't have to think very much of it. Just allow it to happen for you, just like I did during the hurricanes and things. So with the hurricanes, I didn't really mention. Okay, and just to kind of wrap things up, I want to give you a full perspective of hurricanes and those things that happen in our life that are very chaotic and shake us up. I want to give you the final results of what happened after the hurricanes that have hit us where we live. So one of the major hurricanes that hit us was Hurricane Ike. That was the first hurricane that hit me as an adult. And it was bad. We, suffered some losses, some trees down, things like that. At the time, I lived in an apartment. The worst thing that happened was a hook fell off the wall. And the next thing that happened was I conceived my daughter. And I had the most amazing experience of my life now being a mother. So that came from Hurricane Ike. And so the next hurricane that we had was Hurricane Harvey. Now, Hurricane Harvey was more impactful for me. I'm sure there was maybe another hurricane or something before that. But Hurricane Harvey really united everybody in our community. It really brought